Damascus on the morning of March 8, 1963 woke up in a very strange silence. The ancient city, familiar with the sound of trams and the rhythm of prayers from the temples, was suddenly interrupted by the clanking of iron chains on the wide-open gates of the barracks. A group of young officers, whose names were almost unknown, seized Mezzeh airport, the national radio station, and military camps around the capital within just a few short hours. The Syrian Republic, fragile like a cracked wall, collapsed with hardly any resistance. But behind that lightning victory remains a question echoing until today: how did a coup in the name of Arab Renaissance pave the way for the birth of the Assad regime, one of the most persistent and controversial power systems in the Middle East? Was the fate of Syria truly written on that exact day, or had the scenario been formed long before in the dark corridors of the army and Ba'ath ideology? To understand that fateful morning, we must return to 1946, when the French withdrew after decades of protectorate. The three-color flag of the new republic fluttered with hope that Syria would become a Western-style parliamentary nation. Yet that hope collided with reality. Society was deeply divided between Sunni urban clans, former landlords, minority communities in rural areas, and an ambitious army. In only 17 years after independence, Syria experienced more than 10 coups. Presidents came and went like hastily torn calendar pages. The army gradually became the real master of politics, while parties turned into mere legal shadows for gun barrels. In 1958, Syria sought escape by merging with Nasser's Egypt to create the United Arab Republic. Squares resounded with chants praising Nasser as a hero. People believed Arab unity would bring dignity and prosperity. That union soon became dependence. Syrian elites lost power, economy stagnated, and in 1961 officers again separated from Egypt through another coup. Amid that disappointment, the Ba'ath Party, founded by Michel Aflaq and Salah al-Din al-Bidr, found fertile ground. Ba'ath promised a secular socialist Syria where Arabs would be equal regardless of religion. That message appealed especially to marginalized minority officers such as Alawite, Druze, Ismaili. In military academies, Ba'ath became not only idea but oath. Early 1963 brought news from Iraq. Ba'ath in Baghdad had overthrown government there. Damascus was shaken and officers knew their moment arrived. At dawn March 8, they acted. Armored vehicles rolled toward capital and the military committee seized radio, where trembling voice declared army rose to save Arab nation from reactionaries and corruption. President Nazim al-Qudsi was arrested and Prime Minister Khalid al-Azam placed under house arrest. Citizens listening to radio did not yet know a new era opened. The post-coup government formed National Revolutionary Council, though power lay elsewhere from beginning. Inside Ba'ath erupted struggle between moderate civilians and radical left officers. In that maze appeared name Hafez al-Assad, 33-year-old Air Force commander, Alawite from Latakia Mountains. From 1963 to 1970 Syria lived undeclared internal war. In 1966 officers overthrew traditional Ba'ath leadership and brought Salah al-Din to rule. Assad became defense minister. They spoke of revolution and social justice while prisons filled ever more. The 1967 Six-Day War defeat before Israel poured cold water on Ba'ath government and factions blamed each other. Assad watched carefully and concluded whoever controlled army and security organs would be real president. November 1970 saw Assad's coup called Corrective Movement, removing Salah al-Din and launching security state designed by Assad. The meaning of March 8, 1963 was finally revealed. Syria handed to near absolute personal power. Assad built overlapping intelligence networks, party-controlled army, Ba'ath as legal shell. The peak violence was Hama 1982, crushing Muslim Brotherhood. The regime born 1963 treated violence as normal political language. In 2000 Bashar al-Assad succeeded father and the new generation continued on path paved by the coup 4 decades earlier. When civil war erupted 2011, many understood roots of tragedy began far away when army believed it could decide history instead of people. The 1963 Ba'ath coup was once called Renaissance anti-feudal revolution. Looking back, it erased all power control mechanisms and laid foundation for family dynasty. Syria's lesson reminds stability bought by chains is only delay of storm. Damascus in that 1963 morning was not merely day a government fell. It was day Syrian freedom began its longest journey in darkness. It was day Syrian freedom began its longest journey in darkness.